The Nordic culture is full of awesome things like living close to nature, swimming in ice-cold water, and taking your shoes off always when going inside to keep places clean and tidy. But like in every culture, still there are things that are somewhat strange or embarrassing. After I moved back in the north from Southern Europe, I felt like I didn't belong here anymore because of these things. But recently I have started to observe them on a deeper level and have noticed so many benefits and beauty in them. And the first one is going too deep too fast. This is something that, you know, we do always here in the north. Like if somebody asks, how are you? We start to tell really like, how are we? You know, mentally, what have been up to lately? What are the recent projects? What did you do with your family last week? What kind of summer trips you are planning for next year? And you know, it goes on and on. It's not just fine. What about you? It's not a small talk, it's many times, you know, a big talk. That's a big question here. And I used to feel like, why Finnish people have to be like this, you know, why you cannot just have a casual conversation. But recently I have realized I don't anymore care about those small talks either, because I don't care to have those shallow, superficial relationships. I like to go deep with people quite fast. And last Friday I actually had this conversation with a German guy I just met that night, and I asked him, what for you is like the strangest or thing about Finnish culture that you cannot quite understand or you don't like? And he answered that we don't really talk much, but when we start to open up, we really become friends easily. And of course this can lead many times to embarrassing situation when somebody, for example, foreigner asks like, hey, how are you? And then you start to explain your full day and then they get face like, what? You feel so embarrassed like. And the second thing that is a little bit related to this is being cold. Because here we don't show too many emotions. I mean, it could be the cold weather or something, I don't know exactly what it is, but we have this very serious face most of the time. You know, it can be sometimes a little bit uncomfortable for people. Also for me, when you are having a conversation and you cannot see any emotion in somebody else's face. That is like, it's difficult to know, like, what do they think? Should I continue this story or not? You're having a date with somebody and you have no idea, like no signals whatsoever on should you go on a second date or not. But the good thing about that is that when we actually smile, when we actually laugh, it's super genuine. It really comes from our heart and we want to share this joy with you, and we actually care about that thing that you just said and most likely care about you. We don't do this like thing where somebody says something or whatever and we kind of like fake smile or fake laugh. I'm having fun thinking of all the times this has happened.
Pretty cool, huh? You're fake laughing too, right? Oh, the tears are real.
The third habit that I have noticed people do is that they live in the background. And this means that people here like to keep low profile. If they do something nice or something amazing job, they don't want that everybody goes to praise them and, you know, be the center of attention and show everybody, hey, look at me, I did this amazing thing. No, usually they don't even mention it. They don't want to be the center of attention and be praised. Yeah, we don't want to be, you know, in the spotlight, noticed too much. And I used to dislike this. You know, like why Finnish people are always so shy, why they cannot just, you know, talk a little bit more, be a little bit more extrovert. But now I have realized that it's not necessarily about being extrovert or being afraid to show who you are. It's mainly about respect for others, that you really want to learn something more. You want to hear other people's opinions and you don't want to brag about things. You want to stay humble and keep this low profile with your values, opinions and achievements. And the fourth thing I have realized after moving back, that yeah, Nordic people, Finnish people, we don't have sense of style. We just wear what is comfortable. We don't care about colors. You know, in Italy when I lived there, all the time I see people fancy clothes, looking good, but here it doesn't exist. I felt a little bit strange about it, uncomfortable when I moved back 2 years ago, but now it's like yeah, I understand, because people don't care. It's about not caring about what other people think, how you look like or how they view you. It's just you want to be you. Probably the most important habit, at least what I have noticed, that here people choose compassion over conflict. They prefer to choose kindness than being this super, you know, polemic and trying to find that controversy and create like debates and wanting to prove, you know, other people wrong all the time. And for me, that is really like love. You prefer not to say things if you know that they will not make the other person feel better. Of course, this is not always a good thing. You should voice out things if you're not, for example, comfortable in your relationship, or your friend does something that you don't like, or in your workplace you feel like you are not appreciated enough. You should voice out these things. But you know, that unnecessary drama that most of us have in our lives usually, here people tend to avoid those. We really think others and how they think and what would be good for them. For example, on the street, if we are walking and there's somebody behind us want to pass us, we stop and we make way for that person so he or she can pass and then just continue. And we really like look out for situations like that all the time, in many different situations. And I used to think like that is too much. We are way too kind and we shouldn't think about others so much. But yeah, now I've realized that it's really about love, it's about respect. And I find it very beautiful that you can do these things for strangers without even knowing you want to show them that kindness. Now I'm going to have more uncomfortable, awkward situations with other Nordic people. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. Ciao!